LD,
Afternoon.
are you on a case, sir?
Good day. Yes, we are out on Lake Sylvia. Man, what a pretty day. Looking for invasive species.
LD, we had to make an emergency call. Mike from South Dakota writes, I have a question for LD. I know he's a lake detective, but I've been wondering about the flooding in the Yellowstone River and what the effect of that kind of flood has on fish. We have floods like that in our rivers here, but with water turbidity like that, how can the fish survive? What effect does flooding and water turbidity have on fish? I know they have likely evolved to deal with it, and they probably find a hole or a big rock to hang behind, but it's got to have some effect. And your answer, sir, because you've never been stumped.
Well, it's going to be a short-term problem, that's for sure, and they better hunker down behind some rocks and other debris, get out of the main current. But while the turbidity is high for a couple of days, as soon as the flood and the flooding can kind of return back to normal, the fish should be okay. If they can make it through the next couple of weeks, they should be okay. However, long-term, some of that habitat's now going to be altered. So they'll be having to find new spawning areas, new places to hang out, and likewise, the fishermen.
We're losing you a little bit there, sir, on Lake Sylvia. Where is Lake Sylvia?
It's over by Annandale in Wright County, and you know what? You're right. I am in kind of a dead zone here, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Is the Yellowstone River noted for its good fishing?
It does, it has good to moderate fishing. Not a world-class fishery, but certainly a great recreational fishery. Mm-hmm. And the fishing is always good. Catching is not always so good sometimes out there in the Yellowstone.
All right. LD, we'll let you get back to work.
No.
A couple of follow-ups.
Well, we're interrupting him.
Yeah, come on. Ask him about these lake blasters you talked about, Such. I'm anti-lake blaster.
Have you ever heard of anything called a aqua sweep torrent muck blower or aqua thruster?
Oh, yeah. Yep, they've been around for a while. Originally, they were developed to keep keep your dock ice-free over winter, and so they would blow water, at the surface, and then you would have open water around your dock when you have to take it in over winter.
All right.
However, what they found is if they just angled that thruster down, then that thruster would pick up, re-spin those sediments, and send it out to deeper water, or maybe to your neighbor's place.
Right. That's why we advertise Aquacide products, LD, because they're a little safer than the aqua thruster.
Look, here's who's using these.
More natural, a little bit better deal.
Yep.
These people, these are weekenders. They come up here and they use these GD things and they blast the hell out of them. Then they go home Sunday night. Meanwhile, all the weeds and the S that they blasted up floats across the lake and floats up on somebody else's property. Mm-hmm. If you use one of these, you're a son of a bitch. That's what you are.
Jesus. Okay, we got that established.
I'd say it's not very considerate, and a gentleman wouldn't do that.
Yeah. LD, I have a question. Have you noticed or have you had reports of a higher concentration of Budlight in the waters of Lake of the Ozarks from over the weekend?
As a matter of fact, I've heard some anecdotal reports that it is it's a factor.
Let me ask you, just having been there this weekend, this is not an official question, so you cannot possibly be stumped. What do you know about Lake of the Ozarks?
Well, as I recall, it's a real nice reservoir. Almost all the lakes down south, once you get below Mason-Dixon line, are reservoirs or dammed up rivers. Lake of the Ozarks, as reservoirs go and flowages, it's pretty decent. Good fishing, a lot of bays, and it's big.
Yeah, and it's deep too, very deep, but a great place to party. Oh, we'll work on those Bud Light cans.
Yeah, aluminum loading to the lakes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good.
LD, what effect does this heat have on the lakes?
Right now, it's not too bad. I mean, water temperatures, I'm looking at my transducer, 75 degrees, which is about midsummer.
That's nothing.
So it's a little bit warmer than maybe it would be at this time in some years, but it is within the normal range. So the heat, the air temperature might be hot, but the water temperature, it moderates. It's doing just fine. Now, warm water fish like bass and sunfish, they're saying, bring it on. Northerns and walleyes, the cool water fish, they're going, I'll sit this out for a while. They're not going to be biting as well as maybe the warm water fish.
Okay. And to recap, the flooding could take a toll on the fish, but the fish are smart enough to hang around in protection and wait for things to settle down.
That's what you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Short-term problems and then maybe some long-term habitat readjustments.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. We'll be in touch. Lake Detective is
Thanks.
Steve McComas, Blue Water Science in St. Paul, Minnesota.
happened to my sound register?
Never
Set it up.
been stumped in his life.
Never. And all right, and don't forget boxing champ too. By the way, get in his face, he'll pop you right in the chops.